Jedi Outcast is a game that alongside Jedi Academy, I've put hundreds if not thousands of hours into. Originally released in 2002, Jedi Outcast was developed by Raven Software, once legendary for their efforts with the Outcast Academy and Soldier of Fortune titles, but now they're just a cog in a Call of Duty machine. The story follows on from Jedi Knight and its expansion, Mysteries of the Sith. The story is told in such a way that you don't really need to be familiar with the previous games. The game was praised at its time of release, and the lightsaber combat has now become legendary. In a world where Star Wars games treat the lightsaber as a glowing baseball bat to beat down on opponents, this game actually realized that it's a deadly blade that can cut through bone with ease. It was a surprise to most when the game was hastily announced for PS4 and Switch, and released shortly after. This release was handled by Aspyr, who have handled many ports to Mac, Linux, and mobile platforms. To answer the essential questions, this is not a remaster, it's a straight port of the PC game with basic changes. The game is now 1080p and 16:9 ratio to fit widescreen displays. This was not an option on the PC version, and could only be achieved by using console commands to manipulate the resolution and field of view settings manually. The GameCube version had blurry pre-rendered cutscenes, but this release sticks to the real-time in-game cutscenes. Visually, the game isn't ugly, and it does hold up well. The options feature the standard Dismemberment option. This enables hands to occasionally be cut off during lightsaber combat. This is not the famous realistic dismemberment cheat from the PC version. The realistic dismemberment enabled you to sever arms, legs, hands, but is absent from this release. There is a cheat menu, which you can access by pressing up, down, left stick, right stick, left stick. This gives you access to God mode, no clip mode, and various map warps. The original release was packaged as two separate executables, a single player and a multiplayer. The multiplayer executable is completely absent from this release. That means no bot play, no online play. The release of Jedi Academy next year will include the multiplayer. So this is understandable, as the games will have a very small player base, and to then split that player base across two games would essentially leave them dead. Now the game translates to controller fairly well, for the most part, but the opening levels are difficult with the floaty analog controls. Aiming is more difficult without the accuracy of the mouse, and higher difficulties are unforgiving. And of course this is an old school game. There are no in-game markers or guides. You need to learn the levels and actively look for where to go. Levels such as Nar Shaddaa Streets are even more difficult than they previously were. Overall, it's a great game to come back to. The story is engaging and well told. It's a true Star Wars story. Kyle Katarn was always a solid protagonist with his tough attitude, humor, unbelievable emotions. He's kind of the Star Wars version of a Kurt Russell character. At least that's where I always thought.
What do you know about Relo Baruch?
A respected waste disposal managers. This very establishment contracts with him to remove our garbages.
Where does he take your garbages?
Who cares? Out of sight, out of mind, says us.
And it's all strictly legit, right? Never trust a bartender with bad grammar.
Dasan is the villain here, and he's decently fleshed out with a backstory and motives. Unlike Darth Vader and the usual Star Wars villains, he doesn't wait around in the background and is more proactive, and he's also a space dinosaur. Luke Skywalker makes an appearance, and his character is handled nicely. The game is priced at just $9, so if you're curious or yet to play this game, then go ahead and grab it. It'll probably be better than the other Jedi game that's releasing soon. One final note. You can't turn off the lightsaber. Yeah, just like the old console releases, there is no way to turn off the lightsaber. So, maybe it's my OCD, but that does make me kinda sad. Thanks again.